This episode of Shift. I'm your host, Palmonia Gordon. Thank you for joining me today. Today, I wanted to talk to you about books, reading books. I hope I didn't scare anyone off. I am actually going to Mark Twain. There's a quote here I have from Mark Twain that says, you know what? This just makes it a whole lot easier. The man who does not read books has no advantage over the man who cannot read. Does that make sense? So if you can read, but you choose not to, you have no advantage over the man who doesn't read because he cannot read. And there's a scripture that actually backs this up. It says, I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. Growing up as a child, we have a tradition that when on a child's first birthday, some of you may know it, some of you, this may be the first time you're going to hear it, but I know we did it with my nieces and stuff going up. On the child's first birthday, you put them on the ground, put a whole bunch of toys, and you put a book and a pencil. And the belief and the tradition is that if the child is going to be one who excel at academics, they're actually going to bypass the toys and actually go out to get the book and the pencil. And I've seen it many times. My niece Stacy was one of those that she went for girlfriend does calculus and all those stuff that like nothing. My daughter is the same thing. I'm not sure if they did it with me, but I know I'm into books. I love reading. And when my dad took me to my mom the first time, he said, watch her. She eats and she sleeps and she reads. So for those of us who, it's not that you don't want to read, but your understanding of what you're reading may get you frustrated because you may be challenged in how you interpret, how you receive information. That does not exempt you from taking time to learn. Because when you read and you read something that adds value, that's personal development, that helps you to grow your business, you're adding value. So you're not exempt from reading a book. Now you're just going to have to read creatively. There are many different ways that you can do that. You can choose to get an audio book that sometimes it's the author, it may be somebody else who has read the book and recorded it. So now you just have to pop it in and listen, but you can hear it just as if you were reading the book. Many of us have children who can read. Pay your child or incentivize your child. Sell. Title of my new book, SELL, Simply Enhancing Life Lessons. Sell your child on the benefit of reading the book to you. The bonus for that is you are learning, growing, and advancing, and so is that child who's reading the book to you. If not your child, someone else in your community. The resources at the library, do they have groups that book club where people read the book and they come and they give their feedback on their take on the book? But there are different ways for you to get the understanding. But it's important that we get the message that when we choose not to read, we're no better off than the man who cannot read. Many of us, once we are finished school, oh my God, that's it. Thank God, me done. Me now have to touch another book. I'm sorry, I went Jamaican just now. That was a little bit of patois. Basically saying, now that I'm finished school, I really don't need to pick up another book. I really don't need to learn anything else. And that's when we start to fail. That's when we start doing a backwards slide, because just reading one book for a month or even every 3 months is giving you what we call a slight edge. And it's just slowly, slowly, slowly separating you from the other peoples who don't read, who can't read, or choose not to read. So when we hear about people and we look at them and we go, oh my God, these people are successful, it's because they were doing simple things that we didn't do. Like, I have a mentor who's makes over $1 million a year, and he goes, I hate to read. I don't like reading, but I do it because of the value that I get. And I also do it because it's an example to the people on my team. How can I tell the people on my team to read a book that I'm not reading? And it's the same thing. Our kids, we are the biggest role models for our children. If you say, go read that book, but mommy, after you not read, even if they may not even say it, in their mind they are thinking that, and it affects their openness to receive what is in that book. So my challenge to you, Shift Nation, is to make a decision that we will not be grouped with the man who cannot read, because we have made a decision, earlier message, go and check it out, to not read. Get audiobook. You can go to the libraries and you can get CD, just as how you get games and you have PlayStation, you have all the other stuff. There are tons of options that are out there. Even if you get just one and listen to it over and over and over again, wear it out. Get something that's going to move you beyond where you are today. And I'm going to be honest, congratulations on even watching Shift, because that is a growth mechanism that is helping you to move. Because some of the messages create the awareness that I need to do something differently. Sometimes you have the entrepreneurs that come in and man, they are killing it. They're out there. They're knocking on doors. They're talking to people. They're making the exposure, but they're not experiencing the growth monetarily because they are not growing as individuals. Yes. Sometimes that is the missing link to why your income is not growing, or you can make the money, and as fast as you make the money, it's gone and you're back where you started. That's where personal development and personal growth come in, and that's in books and stories and audio. YouTube is full of it. You can go to YouTube. Almost every book that's out there is on YouTube. I know a lot of it has changed because a lot of people are coming in with summary and they're pushing the audio versions down. But take the time and look and search for something. Search for something. Because as a nation, as Shift Nation, we are changing not just our generation, but the one to come and the one after that. And we want to create a ripple effect. And the only way we can create the ripple effect is to start doing something, doing an activity that is different, doing something that sets us apart from everybody else. We have to start investing, but we have to teach it to our kids. We have to start reading more, but we have to teach it to our kids. We have to do it together, that they will in turn pass it on, and we keep going and growing. So as we keep shifting, Shift Nation, one tick at a time. Keep going, and remember, the man who does not read is no better off than the man who cannot read. So it's a choice that you make to say, I'm going to pick up a book. My favorite, highly recommended, The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. It talks about the simple discipline that you do over time. Another phenomenal book to get is my own, Order It by Palmonia Gordon. Speaks to the power of your words, and again, the things that you say, the thoughts that you think, how they create your world around you. I love you. God bless you. See you next time.